Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create this really light and pretty warm toned eye. I am super obsessed with this look just because it brings out my eye color, so it'll bring out yours as well. If you want to see how I did this all, then let's get started. So I'm using my Lorac Unzipped palette, and to go with that, I'm using my Lorac Pro Primer. I'm just blending that out all over the lid up to my brow bone. I even put a little bit on the lower lash line as well. Next, I'm going to take a fluffy brush and the lightest shade in the palette, and I'm dusting this all over my lid to set the primer. Not realizing how pigmented it was, I then went in with a fluffy brush and kind of just smoothed and blended it all out. The shadows in this palette are so super pigmented and creamy and rich, and I'm just literally so obsessed with Lorac. It's kind of crazy. Next, I'm taking the lightest kind of warm brown shade, and I'm going to be putting that in the crease using windshield wiper motions. It's kind of like a peachy, tannish brown. I'm going back and forth windshield wiper motions, and I'm also kind of using circular motions. Being a little messy with this, that's okay. You really want it to be kind of soft, diffused, and well blended. You can build up the color just a little bit at a time so that everything kind of just blends seamlessly. Next, taking that next step up in that brown family, I'm going to be using the same brush, but I'm going to be using just windshield wiper motions this time, kind of keeping it more directly in the crease instead of kind of going all over the place. This is kind of define your crease a little bit more, add some depth, and keep everything still soft and blended. Next, going in with the even darker brown, I'm taking a different style of shader brush, and I'm going to be packing that on the outside of my outer corner, and I'm also taking whatever left on that brush and sliding it all the way through the crease, once again kind of to deepen everything up. Of course, repeating the same step on the other eye, and as you can see there, I kind of add a little bit at a time. That way things don't get out of control and too dark too fast. Next, what I'm going to do is take that same color, but this time I'm using a flat shader brush, and we're going to create a halo effect. So what we're going to do is pack some on the outer corner of the eye, as well as the inner corner of the eye, just shy of where your tear duct is, because you don't want to bring it all the way in. And I'm just packing that color on till it's maximum pigment, and then I'm going to use that same fluffy brush just to make sure everything looks nice and smooth and blended together. For these metallic shades, the best way to apply them I found is with your finger. They're literally so pretty. As you can see there, I'm tapping it in the middle, that little hollow space that we left, and I'm using my finger to do so. These colors are so pretty, and if you foil them with like Fix Plus, they get even better. So I'm just packing that on, and then I'm going to take a brush and just make sure everything is smoothed out. I decided I wanted a little more depth, so I'm just taking a black eyeshadow. I'm using a Lorac black, but you can use any black shadow, and I'm going to go on the inner and outer corner once again in very small amounts just to create a little more depth to the eyes, and I really liked how that kind of turned out. Of course, go back in with a blending brush and blend away. I also added a little bit more product to my brush this time and kind of blended it through the crease as well, just kind of deepen up the whole look. Next, I'm taking that highlight shade again, and I'm going in my very inner tear duct with a precision style brush, and this is just going to really open up the eyes even more and give you that wide-eyed effect. Next, I'm going in with my NYX liquid liner. I am creating a very thin line, which is very unlike me, but I wanted this to kind of have that warm, open, kind of airy, not too like hard look. So I went for a thin winged liner. I think this would look really pretty with just lashes and no liner as well. But I can't stay away from my liner, so I'll put it on there. And I realized after filming this video that I never put mascara on, so there's that. I'm priming my face with primer water from Smashbox. This stuff is so amazing if you have dry skin. So yeah, I'm letting that set in, and I'm going to use my MAC Mineralized Moisture Foundation and dot that around my face, and I'm going to use a flat top brush to kind of blend everything out. Making sure I blend back into my hairline, down onto my jawline, and make sure everything's seamlessly blended together. I also know that this foundation is just a tad too light for me. Once that's blended to my liking, I'm taking my MAC Select Cover Concealer, and I'm just using this right under my eyes where my dark eye circles are the worst. I use this because it has a really orange pigment to it, and I feel like it covers nicely for dark circles. And then I'm going to go in with my highlighting concealer. So I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Concealer, and I'm going to be putting that kind of in that triangle fashion down around my eyes and the sides of my face. I also bring it up on my nose a little bit because I have quite a large bridge to my nose, and I kind of want to make it slimmer. Also going to go down the center of my nose, down the center of my forehead, and a little bit on the center of my chin as well. I like to equally distribute my highlight just so one area doesn't look brighter than the other, because I feel like that can get a little funky. I'm going to blend that out with a flat top brush, and I don't like the Beauty Blender with this particular concealer because I feel like it's lightweight enough, and once you use a Beauty Blender it kind of just blends it away almost. I'm using my finger to tap out underneath my eyes, and then that brush again just along those edges so everything's nice and blended. This is literally my favorite way to apply concealer, with my fingers. I also go up real close by the edges of my winged liner just so everything looks crisp and clean. I'm using my Smashbox contour palette, and I'm going to take that highlight shade in there. This is honestly so pretty under the eyes. It has a slight luminescence to it, but it's not sparkly, and it just sets concealer so well and looks so good. I also take a little bit of that powder, and I'm going to dust it on my chin and my forehead just to kind of set the places I want to set down. Since I don't like putting powder all over my face, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows with the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Pencil, and this is just going to give me enough time to let my foundation set on its own. I'm also going to go underneath my eyes and finish them up. I'm taking that darker red-brown shade and I'm lining my lower lash line, and then I'm going to dip my brush into a little bit of black just to kind of smoke out the bottom just a tiny bit. By this time my foundation is now set, so I'm going to take that contour shade in that Smashbox palette, and I'm going to take that on a Real Technique sculpting brush. I'm taking it on the very tip. This brush is really dense, so it's really going to place color well. I'm going to use the more flat side of the brush to kind of soften the harsh line up. Don't worry if it's too harsh, because we're going to go in with the bronzer shade, and that's going to blend everything together really nicely. So I'm taking the bronzer shade on a more domed brush, and I'm going to take that back towards my hairline, really blending out that contour shade and warming up the skin. I also bring that along my forehead, and as you can see here, no matter how much you put on or the way you put it on, you can always blend it out. That's why I love these powders so much, because they're so soft and blendable that you almost can't make any mistakes. I also bring this along my chin and my jawline and a little bit across the nose just to kind of warm up the skin altogether. I'm using a big fluffy brush, and I just go over the face every once in a while, and that'll keep things from looking splotchy or unblended. Taking my Tarte blush in Blushing Bride and an angled blush brush, I am going to place that kind of in the center of the cheekbone and then blend it forward and back, just once again keeping everything nice and blended together. I really like this blush for that like natural kind of just flushed look. I just think it looks so good and so natural on the skin. I'm going to use my Becca highlighter in Moonstone and a Real Techniques fan brush, and I'm going to pack this on. I don't know why it's not showing up on camera how pretty it is in person, but I pack that on my cheekbones. I also bring it on my cupid's bow, a little on the chin down the bridge of the nose and the sides of the forehead just for an overall glow. You could do a little or a lot of highlighter. I like a lot because it's pretty. Next, I'm going to be lining my lips. I'm using the Peekaboo Nude NYX lip pencil. This is one of the first times that I'm using this, and I don't think they're all that cracked up to be. They are kind of hard, the pencils themselves, and they don't have as much color payoff as I thought they were going to, but I used it anyway. It's a nice kind of like My Lips But Better color. I'm going to top it with this Lorac lip gloss in Duchess, I believe. These lip glosses, they taste amazing. They are not sticky whatsoever, and I really like this because it kind of mimics those rose tones in the eye. So that completes this look. I really love the way it turned out. If you like it as well, please give this video a thumbs up. Check the description box for all specific products that I used, and if you want to see another video using this palette, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.